We do have Kenya, the hosts and defending champions, in action. We will also have Senegal and Madagascar, who will be joining us later. Remember, these are the images from the Nyayo National Stadium venue of the 2021 Under-20 BARTHES Trophy. I'll just catch a glimpse earlier on of the Kenyan team making their way into the match venue. And there we have images of the Kenya Under-20s and the Senegalese Under-20s. My name is Michael Kwambo, taking you through the day's commentary alongside Joyce Odhiambo.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And today, as Mike has said, we're at the Nyayo National Stadium for the BARTHES Under-20 tournament. As you can see from the images on your screen, the two teams are heading into the pitch. We have Kenya, who are in the black and green, and we also have Senegal, who are in the red and yellow. So thank you for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the game.
Definitely, we are looking forward to a great afternoon and obviously a great 2 weeks of international rugby action here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Joyce, isn't it great to have rugby back in the country after close to 14 months out?
Yeah, it is very good to have rugby back. We have been out of international action from last year around April. This is so far, I'd say, the first international tournament we're having in the country. The weather is also very good today. It is not like the normal June weather, so we are grateful for that, and we hope that we will have more international tournaments coming up.
Indeed, and as we just see the teams making their way onto the field of play, there will be a number of dignitaries just standing in honor. Remember, no handshakes because of the way the world has changed with COVID-19 and the coronavirus. Something interesting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to ask each and every one of you to be upstanding.
And now the teams are standing for the national anthems. Of course, we will be silent for that before going into the match day lineups and the match day commentary.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the Senegalese national anthem. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya national anthem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that has been the national anthem of the two sides. Turning out for the Senegalese side is Mamadou Moustapha.
And those have been the national anthems for Kenya and Senegal. Lining up for Senegal, we do have Mamadou Moustapha, Mamembaye, Ahmed Tiana, Madianye Fall, Yusuf Yatera, Aliune Dieng, Mohamed Kibe, Abubakar Tamba, Serine Falou, Hassan Diane, Benoit Sare, Ahmed Salah, the captain, Pape Esanya, Baras Sanye, and Ibrahima Diouf. The replacements are Emaka O Ukpabi, Ndiame F. Koli, Seydou Niakh, Abdou Sisse, Idrissa Diabo, Mohamed Paye, Jean Doudou Mane, Serigne Moustapha, and Seni Kamara. The head coach is Sambu Burama, and we'll just go into the names after that. But lining up for Kenya, we do have Wilhite Musisi, Maxwell Atera, Haidar Mohamed, Andrew Angila, Ibrahim Ayodi, Reinhard Ngaira, Collins Indeche, John Baraka, Cornelius Mokoro, Arnold Onzere, Andrew Matoka, Felix Chacha, Richel Mulati, William Opaka, and Anderson Odwor. Replacements for Chipu as the Kenya under-20 team is known are Celestine Gekara, Nicholas Okulo, Tony Amoya, Edwin Nyachio, Tyson Juma, Laban Kipsang, Shem Olo, Roy Mulievi, and Agri Orlando. Head coach is Curtis Kolago. And Joyce, I'm just going to say something about the names, particularly for the Senegalese. Quite a mouthful, but I'm sure we'll get used to them by the time the tournament is over.
It is quite a mouthful. The Senegalese, I believe it's a French-speaking nation, and so there's a different way of pronouncing our Kenyan names, and there's a different way of pronouncing their names. But I hope we won't butcher them too much.
Definitely not. And the center referee there is Precious Pazani from Zimbabwe. She's assisted by Sauda Adiru and Victor Ojuku, who we know here as Victor Odwor. Fourth official is Beryl Akinyen. Just before kickoff, 3 of the 4 match officials are women. And I mean, what does that say about women in rugby?
It says that women rugby is growing, especially in Africa, because as you can see today, the center referee is a woman. The assistant referee is a woman, and also the 4th match official is also a woman. So that is good growth. It encourages the young girls that in as much as you can't play rugby or you don't play rugby, there's so many other things you can do on the pitch.
Definitely, and we will be having an international fixture between Kenya and Madagascar, which will also be live on K24 and on the Rugby Africa channels on the 7th of July. But for now, this is the start of the Under-20 BARTHES Trophy 2021 from the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. That ball is high and hanging, claimed by Wilhite Musisi. Big, strong carry from the Kenyan front row. Down to the floor, looking to set up a platform early on. This is a rather direct play from the side coached by Curtis Olago. And already the referee's whistle has blown. And what do you expect from these two sides in this particular game?
I'm expecting a very good game of rugby today because, as you can see from the Kenyan team, we have so many first debuts into the team. I hope that they will show us what they have, because it has, as we said earlier, it has been a very long period of no rugby, no international game. So this is probably their first time playing together as a national team, and hopefully we will see very good display of rugby. As for the Senegalese team, I believe that they're also a very young side. The player to watch from Senegal is the captain, Ahmed Sall. So we want to see how he manages to lead the team. Yes.
And there is the front row for Senegal, Mamadou Saab, Mbaye, and Ahmed Tiana going up against their Kenyan counterparts, Wilhite Musisi, Max Atera, and Haidar Mohamed. First scrum down of the game, and the feed is for the Senegalese. Just inside the Kenyan half is driven away, but the advantage remains with Senegal. Remember, Senegal finished 3rd at the 2019 edition of the Rugby Africa Under-20 BARTHES Trophy, played at the KCB Sports Club, and they've come here looking to go maybe 2 more positions better, probably even leave with the title. Well, this is the first international rugby fixture in Nairobi in close to 2 years. We do get play underway. Here's the Senegalese looking boisterous early on. Remember, they were recently visited by Senegalese soccer superstar Max Sadio Mane. I don't know why Max was on my mind, Joyce. And it is a scrum feed for Kenya under 20, close to the touchline. This is Cornelius Mokoro. He is starting this fixture today. And Joyce, I know that you are doing a bit of a background check on the Kenyan players, but as we speak, that is a wonderful line break from Richel Wangila. Just carries the ball past the halfway line. Looking promising from Kenya early on. Remember, the action is coming to you live on K24. It is streaming live on the Rugby Africa Facebook and YouTube channels, and on K24's Facebook page as well. But that was a promising line break from the Kenyans. Earlier on, I was just asking you about the background check on the Kenyans and some of the clubs they play for.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of background check for the Kenyan players, and as you know right now, in the local league, the Kenya Cup, we only have the top teams playing, so you'll find that most of the players who are playing in the championship have been taken to the top league games to play for the club level teams. So you'll find a player like Celestine Boy, who is a Northern Suburbs player, but he's currently playing for Mwamba, and I feel like that's a very good experience for him, because at least in as much as he's playing in the championship, he has that experience of playing in the top tier clubs.
Definitely, that's good. And you know, now for him also to play at the under-20s Continental Under-20 Championship, it is a good path in terms of development for him. And as you speak, Kenya with a line out deep in Senegalese territory. Has been a while also since we've been in commentary, so if we struggle with some pronunciations, we are also lacking the match fitness. That was an overthrow from the Kenyans. It is claimed by Hassan Ndiaye, just looking to set up a platform for Senegal. Looking for an exit strategy. Ball is booted into touch but doesn't breach the 25. It still is advantage Kenya, and you can just feel the pressure beginning to pile on the Senegalese. 5 minutes in, it is still scoreless, but sooner rather than later something must give. Another line out throw for Chipu, as the Kenya under-20s are popularly known. It is played short to Wilhite Musisi, carries that ball 1 meter forward. Now is Mokoro just looking to release his backs. Instead, that is Reinhard Ngaira. Just carries it forward. Penalty advantage with the Kenyans.
You want to scrum, Captain?
This is Rugby Africa under-20 BARTHES trophy action coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. Just see the moment that led to that infringement. Senegalese player Joyce guilty of not releasing that ball. I know that you've officiated some games and therefore you are more familiar with those terms than I am.
Yes, I have had the opportunity of officiating a few games in the local women's league. So yes, it is true. I am quite familiar with a few of the calls, but you know, the game of rugby is always changing. The rules are always changing, especially now with the current global pandemic. There are some things that have changed over the past few months.
Indeed,
so
and
we are all learning.
Yeah, that was sorry to cut you short there. That okay. Was Collins in Deche just picking that ball from the base of the scrum. As they continue to bring the pressure to their opponents. Felix Chacha carries it forward, and is that going to be the opening try of the game? Yes, it is. Confirmation of the try scorer. It is Andrew Matoka. Remember, he kicked Kenya into the title in 2019, and it is quite apt that the man who scored the last points at the last time the BARTHES trophy was held is the man to open the scoring at this year's edition. That's something special from Andrew Matoka.
Okay, I'll watch that. Mark Tricia in the middle of the fight.
Current scores 5-0 with the conversion to come. Remember, Joyce, we talked about the pressure building and eventually The Senegalese cracked once the Kenyans got themselves into their strides. That's a high and hanging kick. Lacks the accuracy, and the scores remain 5-0. The action is coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. This is match day 1 of the 2021 Rugby Africa Under-20 BARTHES Trophy. The action is coming to you live on K24. It is streaming to you on the Rugby Africa YouTube and Facebook pages, and the K24 Facebook page. Senegal with the restart. It is fielded by the Kenyans. It's going into contact early on. Certainly asking a lot of questions of Senegal. That was something big from the Senegalese in terms of defense. Once again being driven back by the Kenyans. 5-0. Andrew Matoka with the try for Kenya. The man carrying the ball there is Yusuf Yatera. Carries it 2 meters forward for Senegal. Mame Mbaye with the dance, but running into some resolute Kenyan defending.
No calling by green.
But the advantage remaining with Senegal.
Stay 5, please. Green. Coach. 5. 6. Keep it stable.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently live at the Nyayo National Stadium for the BARTHES Cup Under-20 Africa Rugby BARTHES Under-20 Championship. I think I'll give you a little bit of the history of the tournament that you're currently watching. So this tournament was initially known as the Rugby Africa Under-19 Tournament until 2017, when it was renamed the BARTHES Tournament after the late John Luke BARTHES, who was a Rugby Africa. Was he an educator?
He was actually the World Rugby High Performance Manager for Africa.
Okay.
Did a lot to spread the game.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to point out that this, I believe, is the first time Kenya is facing Madagascar.
Madagascar coming on.
No,
Tuesday.
Senegal, sorry, Senegal. The game is a bit interesting, so I'm a bit carried away.
But I thought you could multitask, you know.
Clearly, I'm failing the ladies.
Anyway, as we speak, the Senegalese forward motion has been repulsed by Kenya. They just get a penalty in the middle of the park as they continue to assert themselves on this game. 5-0, 11 minutes into the game. Kenya leading Senegal in the opening fixture of the Under-20 Rugby Africa BARTHES Trophy right here at the Nyayo National Stadium.
Okay. Get back behind the kicker.
That is Arnold Onzere dancing, gaining some meters forward for Kenya once again. Another penalty after Senegal was found guilty of breaching there
From there.
in the middle of the park. Arnold Onzere has been quite an influential figure in the opening minutes of this match. Andrew Matoka, the man who scored the opening try of the 2021 Rugby Africa BARTHES Trophy, with that kick deep into Senegalese territory. They were looking for the quick throw, but it's not going to happen. To all the viewers watching us around the country, around Africa, action is live on K24. It is also live on the Rugby Africa Facebook and YouTube platforms and on K24 Facebook. Just a confirmation of the starting lineups for Kenya: Will Height Musisi, Max Atera, Haidar Mohamed, Andrew Angila, Ibrahim Ayodi, Reginald Ngaira, Collins Indeche, John Baraka, Cornelius Mokoro, Arnold Onzere, Matoka, Felix Chacha, Richel Wangila, William Opaka, and Anderson Odwor. Starting for Senegal: Mamadou Moustapha, Mamembaye, Ahmed Atiana, Madianye Fall, Yusuf Yatera, Aliun Dieng, Mohamed Kibe. And as we speak, that's a beautiful movement from Kenya as they look to play the ball out of their own half. They are looking fluid going forward, but Senegal are resolute in their defense, putting their shoulders and their bodies on the line into the tackles. As play just comes up to the halfway mark. Another penalty for Kenya. But thus far, the Kenyans have not been able to get as many penalties in Senegalese territory. Senegal doing well to defend their half, conceding the penalties in Kenyan territory. Remember, Kenya does have the boot of Andrew Matoka to count on.
Offside.
That's another big kick out into touch from Andrew Matoka. And Joyce, what do you think Kenya will be looking to play from that particular set piece?
I think at the particular set piece, Kenya will probably play the backs because we have seen that our backs are really working. They're really running, they're really fast, they're really agile. So probably if they get the line out, then they're probably going to play the backs.
Senegal, though, they've looked quite decent thus far, putting in a good shift in terms of defense.
Yes, their defense is also very strong, so we have to give them that.
As we speak, the line out has been taken, but there was another infringement, actually a handling error. And you just feel that for Kenya, these are things they need to fine-tune ahead of their next fixture, which will be against Madagascar next Saturday. And there we just see it, Joyce. That is the moment the handling error happened. John Baraka, the captain, unable to reach out and gather that ball. Obviously caught between paying attention on catching the ball and taking the gap. Senegal have been punished there for an infringement, conceding a penalty deep in their territory, actually in their 22. And there are two options, actually 3 options for Kenya here. They could actually elect to go for the 3 points, go for the scrum down, or play it out wide to the backs. But it looks, Joyce, as though they are electing to go for the scrum down.
Yes, indeed. I can see that Kenya have decided to go for the scrum down, and I think it is because they feel like they have a stronger side of forwards against the Senegal team. So let's see if this scrum down will lead to another try for Kenya, or if Senegal will win the scrum down and punish us for that choice.
And that is Cornelius Mokoro placing himself for the scrum feed. And as you did say, stronger Kenyan forwards that's out muscling their Senegalese counterparts. Do they want to walk this all the way? John Baraka picks that ball from the base of the scrum, carries it towards the 5-meter mark. That is Onzere in possession. Looks to play it short. Mokoro keeps it alive. This is good continuity from the Kenyans. Senegal have been defending, but the trouble with defending incessantly like that is that your concentration dips and you find yourself prone to committing errors, and the errors in this particular point leading to Senegal being punished.
I need you to do the bind. You too. Crouch. Bind. Set.
That is Mokoro once again with the scrum feed. Are we going to see a repeat of the same? Senegal are on the course here. Mokoro once again just forces the Senegalese into another infringement. 17 minutes gone. It is the Kenya under-20s leading their Senegalese counterparts by 5 points to 0. This is match day 1 in the under-20 BARTHES trophy, brought to you by Rugby Africa, live on K24, streaming on the internet on K24's Facebook page, on the Rugby Africa Facebook and YouTube platforms. Kenya, the defending champions, after defeating Namibia 21-18 during the 2019 final played in Nairobi at the KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka. This is a bigger response from the Senegalese, but still picked up from the base of the scrum by John Baraka. Well, actually, that was Collins Indeche. Big carry from the open side flanker. Mokoro once again draws another infringement from Senegal. And Joyce, do you think that the Senegalese are feeling the pressure that is piling on them?
Yes, I feel like the Senegalese are feeling the pressure right now because, as you can see, we have been there for almost 5 minutes and they have had almost 4 infringements, I can say. I believe that now they're trying anything they can to make sure that the Kenyan team doesn't make any try. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how this play goes, because I believe that if they make another infringement, they're going to be penalized for that.
Probably even could be awarded a penalty try, but thankfully a decision finally going against them, showing a lot more discipline in defense. And they will be looking to get themselves out of this kosh. Because as you said, it's been the past 4 minutes of incessant Kenyan pressure. And that is Asane Ndiaye just booting them a few meters away from their try line. In our picture, there's one of the assistant referees, Sauda Adiru from Uganda. Center referee is the Zimbabwean Precious Apazani, while the other assistant referee is Victor Ojuku Odwor from Kenya. Fourth official, Beryl Akini. This is creative play from Benoit Sare.
Okay. Time off? Who was it that was asking for numbers?
20 minutes into the match. And we do have a water break 20 minutes into the match. It is Kenya leading Senegal by 5 points to 0. Match day 1 in the under-20 BARTHES trophy. At this particular point, we're just observing the teams taking the cue to regroup and go in for the remaining 20 minutes of the half.
Kenya under 25, Senegal 0. Ladies and gentlemen, remember the Kenya Rugby Union replica jerseys are going up on sale. You can get yourself a replica jersey coming from the Kenya Rugby Union for just $5,000. Go to the point of sale just right beside the main dais, that is the VIP area. You will meet a couple of ladies there to help you get or acquire your replica jersey for the Kenya Rugby Union. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kenya Rugby Union replica jersey is just going out for $5,000.
And on our picture there, we are seeing the Kenyan player making his way off the field. That is Andrew Wangila. Curtis Olago has been forced into an early substitution. Andrew Wangila making his way off the field of play to be replaced by Edwin Nyachio. It's a substitution that has come in midway through the half. This is the opening match of the 2021 Under-20 BARTHES trophy. And as Wangila goes into the treatment room, we just wish him a speedy recovery and hope that he'll be back for the rest of the tournament. Play resumes for the remaining 20 of the half following that water break. There's a free kick for Senegal. They are looking to exit from their half. The kick is high and hanging just past the Kenyan halfway line. Claimed there once again by it is Kenya doing well to field that ball through the captain, John Baraka. They force the turnover. Matoka with the kick downfield. Obviously observing the fact that the Senegalese back three were not in formation, exploiting that to gain massive territory for Kenya. The action is coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium in the heart of Nairobi. This is a stadium that is also used to host other sporting disciplines such as athletics and soccer.
That's a very beautiful line out from the Senegalese team. And let's see how far the kick can go, because they're really trying hard to get out of their own half. They're really trying hard. For the past few, I'd say 10 minutes, they've been playing in their own half. So let's see if they'll be able to get out of their own half and probably end up with a try.
Well, they have done well there to keep the ball alive. They've just breached the Kenyan. They just breached the Kenyan, the halfway line. I don't know why I'm saying the Kenyan halfway line. They have breached it. Remember, it is the rust, probably, Joyce, of not having done this for a while. But
it has been a very long time.
But we'll be back eventually by the second game. We should have gotten our groove. Play continues here. Precious Pazani, the Zimbabwean referee, just telling the Kenyans to observe their distance. This is good movement from Senegal. That is the fullback, Ibrahima Diouf, carrying the ball forward. Senegalese have looked rejuvenated after the water break. That was a beautiful short ball to Mame Mbaye. He receives that ball at pace. This is beautiful, a lot more structured from Senegal. They are breaching Kenyan territory inch by inch, coming closer to the Kenyan 22. Driven back there, but doing well once again to keep it in play. And that is Alessane Ndiaye. The kick and a penalty. This is within striking distance for Senegal. What do they do from here? Do they go for the 3? Do they go for the 5?
19 green. 19 green offside.
That was an exquisite chip from Ndiaye. It was him once again there to field that ball. And then Kenyan players were found guilty of the infringement. And they probably were listening to us, Joyce, because they've elected to find an opportunity for points on the board. And it will be the captain, Ahmed Assal, attempting to bring Senegal back into the game. And from that distance, it was rather straightforward, but there is a slight breeze here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Is it really slight? Because I see that you've worn your jacket. But anyway, just to update on the scores, first of all, it is Kenya 5, Senegal 0. That penalty attempt sailed wide. But as I was saying, the breeze here at the Nyayo National Stadium, unless you're playing, it can, it's quite chilly. Atsonzere once again just playing in Deche. He lost the ball on the tackle. The Senegalese forcing the turnover. And that was Bar Cisse just carrying it forward.
No. My mark. My mark.
Donzere just relieving the pressure that was beginning to pile on Kenya. 25 minutes into the game, it is Kenya leading Senegal by 5 points to 0. Match day 1 at the under-20 BARTHES Trophy. Competition organized by Rugby Africa and featuring under-20 national teams. The winner of this event usually qualifies for the World Rugby Junior Trophy. Kenya were Africa's representatives in 2019. Prior to that, it had been Namibia, who had been perennial champions. Namibia was supposed to be part of the lineup here in Nairobi, but unfortunately falling victim to the effects of the COVID pandemic, which has really hit the world hard. That is Matoka with the kick downfield. Is yet another line-out throw for Kenya. Fielded there by Haidar Mohamed. That is Ibrahim Ayodi. Will Height Musisi. A bit of the show and go. The ball was received at standstill there by Richel Wangila. As the Kenyans just looking to punch holes once again in the Senegalese defense. They have the ball close to the Senegalese try line. Precious Pazani calling for an infringement. Senegal holding their own thus far. The Kenyans continue to knock at the door as they look to get more points on the board.
And as you mentioned earlier, Kwambo, today for this tournament, for the 2021 BARTHES tournament, Namibia will not be making an appearance, but we would still like to commend the Kenya Rugby Union and the Rugby Africa for ensuring that the tournament happened. You can see at the Nyayo National Stadium today we don't have fans. The mood is quite low. We don't have fans, but that is because for this tournament to happen, we had to adhere to the COVID rules and measures that have been put in place by the government. So we'd really like to commend them for that.
Yeah, indeed. Hearty congratulations to both of those bodies as well as the corporate sponsors, both of Rugby Africa and the Kenya Rugby Union. And of course, to the rugby fans and stakeholders watching this match through the live stream and on K24. Thank you for supporting the game, even though you may not be at the ground physically. And that has been resolute from Senegal. Good defensive play from them as they just look to curtail the movement of the Kenyans.
Open up, Red. Move in, move in. My mark? Number. Open. Green number 1, sorry. Straight in.
That ball claimed in the air by Collins Indeche. He has been all over the place for Kenya. That was Mokoro. Swings the ball out wide. Senegal looking to restrict the Kenyans from getting more points on the board. But possession remains with the host, Mokoro. Once again, draws another penalty from Senegal. 5-0 with 11 minutes of the half remaining. It is a close contest here. Both teams playing their first international fixture in slightly over 2 years, because the 2019 BARTHES trophy was held in April. And as we speak, Andrew Matoka just looking to extend the lead for Kenya. This kick is rather straightforward and in front of the posts. Matoka is sure with the delivery, takes the scores to 8-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, after sustained pressure from the Kenya under 20 side, we do extend the lead to the current score. Kenya under 28, Senegal under 20, 0.
And from the restart, it is Wilhite Musisi receiving that ball, creating a platform for Kenya. That was Haidar Mohamed just carrying it another few meters forward as the Kenyans looking to get out of their half. And they're going to do it by carrying that ball forward, but Matoka looked to have lost that ball on the tackle. Victor Odor's flag on the other side of the pitch was up. I think Matoka had gotten a foot out into touch. Yes, he did. It is going to be a line-out throw for Senegal. They're just 10 meters into the Kenyan half.
Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage, Sports Fund, Nairobi County, Coca-Cola, the Kenya Rugby Union, Media Max, and World Flair.
It is still Senegal doing well to keep that ball alive. That was an incisive run from the Senegalese center. Loses the ball on the tackle, but the penalty advantage remaining with Senegal. That is Precious Pazani. The center referee just calling for Senegal to stay on the mark. Also telling the Kenyan players to be the requisite 10 meters back. Biasane Ndiane with the kick for territory. Those are a few more meters gained for Senegal.
Thanks, Auda.
So coming into the business end of the first half, Kenya leading Senegal by 5 points to 0.
What do you want?
Just a correction of the score, it is 8-0. The Kenyans have scored an unconverted try and a penalty. Both of those coming from Andrew Matoka, continuing with his scoring form from the 2019 competition.
Crouch. Bind. No, okay. Let's hold it.
So just a confirmation of the scores, 8-0. Apologies for that earlier error. This is under 20 BARTHES Trophy Match Day 1 action coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya. It is streaming to you live on the Rugby Africa Facebook and YouTube platforms. It is coming live on K24 TV and streaming live on the K24 Facebook page. That is Mokoro. Just plays it through to Onzere. There was a hint of a handling error there. The referee playing the advantage. Senegal 9 possession. That was a step from the scrum half, Falou.
And then knock. Okay.
And just getting another reprieve there is Kenya. Although they hold an 8-0 lead in this match, 6 minutes towards the close of the first half.
Stay five. Crouch. Bind.
Come.
Allez, guys, deuxième, coach. Deuxième. Bind. Set.
And that is the Senegalese scrum half just bracing himself for the feed. Senegal still in possession. He was a bit over eager there and just wasn't able to handle that ball. Probably a hint of the nerves coming to haunt him as the Kenyan loose forwards were marauding, looking to finish him off in the tackle. Let's just see that again. He's taking his eye off the ball for a moment. Not too sure whether he was on guard for the opposition from the Kenyan flankers or whether he was looking to play it quickly with his winger on the right flank, Benoit Sare. This is Mokoro with the scrum feed for Kenya, and once again they break loose from the scrum down. That is Collins Indeche, part of a marauding back row that also features the captain John Baraka. Mokoro looking for that ball. Eventually it is claimed by Musisi. Seeing a lot of the ball, the prop forward for Kenya. Senegalese once again guilty of yet another infringement.
My mark.
This is Andrew Matoka with the big kick downfield. As we're heading into the final 3 minutes of the half, it is going to be a Kenyan line-out throw inside the Senegal 22. Scores remain 8-0. This is match day 1, Kenya versus Senegal. BARTHES under 20 trophy action from the Nyayo National Stadium. The tackle was big, but Kenya doing well to keep it in possession. That was Mokoro, stopped inches short of the try line. Kenyans still looking for the ball on Zeri at scrum half. This is Musisi looking to run past his man, but he races into a Senegalese wall. He still has the power to go over the chalk. Adiru just looking to confirm, no. Musisi has been held up, but that has been some good forward movement from the hosts. But you have to give it to Senegal, putting their bodies on the line, doing everything they can to keep the scores down.
Time off. Laces. Let's go. Time back on. Coach! Bind! Set!
This is Mokoro with the scrum feed for Kenya. Wanzere, he has men in support, plays it through to Wangila. Wangila goes down on the tackle. The Kenyans keeping it alive. That is a second try for the hosts.
Time, Kenya!
We will confirm the try scorer in a moment. But that was some good continuity. Let's just see this once again. That was Richel Wangila taking out two men, gaining a lot of territory for Kenya. As well to release that ball on the tackle. And eventually the try is scored by William Opaka. Takes the scores to 13-0 with the conversion to come. Andrew Matoka is all concentration as he looks to add to his tally of 8 points in this match thus far. The kick is sliced to the left. The scores remain 13-0. And Joyce, I mean, as we come to the close of the half, because we've done 40 minutes, what's your take of Kenya and Senegal so far?
For the first 40 minutes of the game, I believe that Kenya have really shown a very good display of rugby. You can see every time they went to the Senegalese half, they tried to come with either a try or a point. As for Senegal, they're trying very hard to defend on their half, but when they cross over to the other side, I don't know what happens because they've lost the ball several times at the Kenyan half. And every time they lose the ball, they're taken back to their own half, and Kenya makes a try or comes out with points.
Well, that's the assessment from Joyce Odhiambo as we head into the final moments of the match. That kick from the Senegalese on the restart just went straight out into touch. The Kenyans electing for the scrum down. We've seen them dominate their opponents. It comes down to the close contact situations. 13-0 though is still a close score. Senegal have every chance of making it back into this game. The first match of the Rugby Africa Under-20 BARTHES trophy happening here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Is Kenya once again in possession. Wanzere looking like the orchestrator of a lot of the Kenyan moves. The ball fielded back there by Ibrahima Diop for Senegal. Penalty advantage to Kenya. A bit of over-enthusiasm from both Senegal and Kenya away from the referees. But Precious Pazani paying no attention to that. Her focus is on ensuring that this game continues. Let's just see that again.
Which one?
That was Mukoro.
Where? Okay. Please, let's not injure the
Getting
other
into a
guys.
bit of a tangle with his Senegalese opponent. These things do happen. It is part of sport. And the beauty is that we all get to laugh about it after the game.
Bind. Set.
The Kenyans are guilty of an infringement there. The Senegalese unable to find touch from the resultant territorial kick. This is Matoka, the vice captain of the team. Already has come in with a contribution of 8 points in the half. That was Ibrahim Ayodi carrying the ball forward. Edwin Nyachio is taking it forward again. The handling error signals the end of the first half of the opening match of the 2021 BARTHES Under-20 trophy. It is Kenya, the host, leading Senegal by 13 points to 0. Andrew Matoka with a try and penalty. William Opaka with the other try. As the teams make their way into the halfway break, Senegal will obviously be looking to plot a comeback for the second half. Kenya will be looking to consolidate their lead. This is the action live on K24, live on Rugby Africa as well. We will catch you for the second half, and there is just a confirmation of the scores at halftime. Kenya 13, Senegal 0. See you at the start of the second half. Action.
18, Senegal 0.
Conversion is good. Takes the scores to 20-0.
Take the scores, ladies and gentlemen, to Kenya under 20, Senegal 0. A warm welcome if you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Center referee Precious Pazani just having a word with the captain. There obviously was something that Abu Bakar David Tamba said or did that caught the attention of the referee, and the captain Sal had to be called into play. As the action continues here. Well, the action continues here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Jason was about to say the RFUA ground because that's where a lot of the rugby has been taking place.
We have been used to having local international matches at the RFUA, but today we have changed the venue to Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi City.
And definitely is proving to be a great venue for rugby, and will host a lot more international rugby over the next few weeks. We do have the Rugby Africa Senior Men's Competition, Kenya and Senegal taking part in that one. And as we speak, another Kenyan player goes off limping there. We will confirm the replacement in a moment. And it is Collins Indeche. He has been quite instrumental for Kenya during the first half, but he limps off. He is replaced by the man in shirt number 20, Tyson Juma. As the Kenyans just look to get going, that ball is booted downfield by Andrew Matoka. Big territorial kick from the Kenyan. Advantage gained for Kenya. Once again, the Senegalese finding themselves on the back foot. 20-0 they trail 6 minutes into the second half. This is Rugby Africa under 20 BARTHES trophy action coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. The action is live on K24. It is streaming live on the Rugby Africa Facebook and YouTube platforms. Also streaming live on K24 Facebook. My name is Michael Kwambo, taking you through the commentary alongside Joyce Odhiambo. Kenyans once again getting going there. The ball is played out wide to the man who scored the second try for Kenya, William Opaka. That is Mokoro just keeping the momentum going for Chipu as the Kenya under-20s are known. Penalty advantage to the team in the lead. Remember, this is a make or break half for both Kenya and Senegal. Senegal were third during the 2019 Rugby Africa Under-20 BARTHES trophy, which was held at the KCB Sports Club in Ruaraka. They began with a 45-12 defeat to Namibia before defeating Tunisia by 37 points to 12 to finish third overall. They find themselves trailing here. That ball taken into possession by the Kenyans. They are looking to walk it over the chalk, and they do a fourth try for Kenya.
Right time, Kenya.
And it's the man in shirt number 19, Edwin Nyachio, who came in as a replacement for Reginald Gaira, scoring that try.
To a Kenya under 20 side, 25, Senegal 0.
And it has been 2 quick fire tries from Kenya within the opening 10 minutes of the half. What a response after a slow start to the first half. But do you also think that, amongst other things, altitude is a factor to play? Because Nairobi is quite high at about 1,600 meters above sea level. The Senegalese coming from Dakar, almost from sea level, always going to be left gasping for air here in Nairobi. And the conversion from Matoka is good. Takes the scores to 25-0.
Successful. Bring the scores to Kenya 20-27. Senegal 0. A warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're just joining us. This is the Rugby Africa Under-20 BARTHES Cup, proudly sponsored and brought to you by the Kenya Rugby Union and Rugby Africa, right here in Nairobi, the Nairobi National Stadium, playing host to this year's event, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that we are currently live at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. You can also catch the games live on K24 and the K24 social media handles, that is Facebook and on YouTube. And right now, Senegal have decided to go for a penalty kick, hoping to elevate the points from 0 to 3. Let's see how it goes. And that's a very beautiful kick from Senegal's Hassan Ndiaye that takes the scores to 32-3 in the second half of the BARTHES Under-20 African tournament.
Penalty attempt by the Senegalese side, ladies and gentlemen, bearing fruits. And the Senegalese side opening their account in this game. Bring the scores, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kenya Under-20 side. 27, Senegal 3.
And that's a very beautiful carry from Kenya's Tyson Omaya Kiako, who gains a few mileage for the Kenyan Chipu team. But sadly, the game is stopped due to an infringement.
Right there, ladies and gentlemen, just to appreciate our sponsors yet again. Rugby Africa, Societe Generale, APO Group, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage.
And just a reminder of our officials, match officials today. The center referee is Precious Pizani from Zimbabwe. She's assisted by Sauda Adiru from Uganda and Victor Ojuru from Kenya. And the fourth match official is Beryl Akinyi from Kenya.
For 5,000 shillings opposite the VIP area right here on the main dais.
A correction on the scores, the current scores are Kenya 27 and Senegal 3, not 32 as earlier stated.
Set.
That is Andrew Matoka just fielding that ball, returning it to sender. Big kick down there from the Kenyan winger, but it is fielded by Ibrahima Diouf. As we speak, the Kenyans making yet another replacement. Man in shirt number 18 going on the field of play. That is Tony Amoya. Another replacement also being made, Shem Olo Okola coming on. So the men who've gone off, Haidar Mohammed, and that is Okoro nipping away from the base of the scrum with the distribution out wide. This is flowing. That was Anderson Odwor, and that is going to be a second try for William Opaka. He lands his brace, and the scores are finally 32 points to 3. I think we had been fixated on that 32 figure for a while. Eventually it has come through. Let's just see that again. Brilliant ball handling skills there from Ibrahim Iodi. Anderson Odwor saw a man out wide. That man was William Opaka, going over for his second try of the afternoon. Current scores 32-3, 55 minutes into the game. We still have about 25 minutes to play in the half. It is Kenya beginning to run away with the result here. Under 20 BARTHES Rugby Trophy action coming to you from the Nyayo National Stadium. And the conversion from Matoka sails wide. The scores remain 32 points to 3.
Conversion attempt is unsuccessful. The current scores, ladies and gentlemen, is Kenya under 20, 32, Senegal 3.
Curtis Olago making yet another substitution. Celestine Gekara Mboy coming in to replace Mark Satera. And there has been quite a clean out of the Kenyan front row. The ball continues to be a challenge in terms of possession for Kenya, but referee Precious Pazani playing the advantage. Andrew Matoka has been destructive for Kenya with his boot. That was big from the Kenyan winger. He can also slot in at fly half and fullback. And we've seen him do that time and again for club and country. He has also been capped by the Kenyan senior team, the Simbas. He was part of the squad that played in the 2019 Elgon Cup against Uganda. This is Kenya once again with the hard running, Senegal with the defending, and they're defending furiously. But this is another wave of Kenyan attacks. The ball carried forward another few meters for Kenya. And the penalty advantage remaining with the hosts and defending champions. Senegal really on the receiving end right now. Senegal also preparing to make a raft of changes. Players coming on. Ndiame Fall Okoli, Seydou Niak, and Serine Mustafa C. Ndoye. We will confirm the players coming off in a moment.
Because you've already been infringing too many times.
As you're heading into the final 22 minutes of the fixture. And Senegal are down to 14 men. It is the fullback, Ibrahima Diouf, heading into the sin bin for the next 10 minutes. But earlier on, we had seen the referee Precious Pazani beginning to lay down the law. The ball is well claimed by Opaka, plays it through to Matoka. This is good interplay and another try for Kenya. Anderson Odwor, the Kenyan back three have all gotten their names on the try scorers sheet. Anderson Odwor, the latest try scorer for Kenya there, just looks to have collided with his opponent and receiving some treatment there. But that was some good play. Let's just see that again. Mokoro with the play out wide. And then this from Opaka, knowing that he was about to receive the tackle. Good interplay between the back three. Anderson Odwor going over for the try. 37-3 with the conversion to come. 20 minutes to play here at the Nyayo National Stadium. Kenya in the ascendancy. So Diouf is going to spend the next 10 minutes in the sin bin. Senegal have made a raft of changes. As a conversion attempt from Matoka sails wide. 37 points to 3, 20 minutes to play. This is Rugby Africa Under-20 BARTHES Trophy action coming to you from Nairobi, from the Nyayo National Stadium. The tournament taking place for the first time since 2019. It was supposed to be held in 2020 in Nairobi, but the COVID pandemic that brought the world to a halt also affected not only this competition, but sport generally, both in Kenya and around the world. And Joyce, I mean, you and I had also been looking forward to the tournament in 2020. Didn't happen. How was 2020 in terms of dealing with the pandemic and rugby?
2020 was a very long year, especially for rugby, because as we know, the pandemic struck Kenya in April, and that is when we're usually at the peak of our local rugby, and everything came to a standstill. There was no rugby, there was no sports. We had to stop playing, we had to stop training. People had to self-quarantine, people had to isolate. But it is good that over the past few months, things have started coming back to normal. We have started going back to training. You can see the national team has also started taking part in international tournaments, which is a good thing. And we are glad that things are slowly coming back to normal.
Indeed, and this is a sign of resilience both by Kenya, Senegal. Of course, kudos to Rugby Africa for ensuring that this tournament happens. To all the participating teams, all the partners, thank you so much for being a part of this renaissance of the game after nearly 14 months with no activity. And it's great to see these two teams getting the BARTHES Trophy action underway in 2021. "18 minutes to go." I feel that Senegal have taken a lot of body blows from Kenya. Of course, they're still giving as good as they're getting. Senegal, on the other hand, will be looking to finish off this tournament in style when they play their next game against Madagascar next Saturday. Is the Kenyans in possession and driving forward. It's again hard running from the Kenyan forwards. And this is the scrum half, Mokoro. The ball eventually booted downfield. Good territorial kick there from Kenya. Just looking to pin Senegal into their own half.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a reminder that Kenya is currently the top on the league for the BARTHES Under 20 tournament, while Senegal finished third in the 2019 BARTHES Under 20 tournament.
This was part of the action. Earlier on, we just saw a shot of a Senegalese player receiving treatment, and that was the incident that saw the man in shirt number 7, Mamadou Kebe, go down on the floor as he is receiving medical attention and will probably play no further role in this match.
The lovely sponsors that put this tournament together. Rugby Africa, Societe Generale, APO Group, Ministry of Sports.
And there we have a bird's eye view of the Nyayo National Stadium in the heart of Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya. It is playing host to the 2021 Under 20 BARTHES Trophy. As there is a break in play to allow the Senegalese player receive medical attention and be evacuated off the field of play. And as we speak, it is Kenya leading by 37 points to 3. They started the first half rather strongly. That is one of the hard-running players for Kenya, the captain, John Baraka. And, you know, just looking at John Baraka's play throughout this game thus far, you're actually seeing why the technical bench handed him the captaincy, literally leading from the front, setting up platforms for his teammates to surge forward and get points on the board.
Rugby Africa, big thank you for Rugby Africa for having this tournament right here at the Nyayo National Stadium and offering Kenya Rugby Union the opportunity to host this wonderful tournament yet again. You are all welcome. If you are coming out of Nairobi, welcome to the city.
Mamadou Kebe, there will be no need to evacuate him, but I don't think that Joyce is going to play a further role in this particular match. Remember, World Rugby and basically the rugby authorities all over the world and on the African continent are very keen on player safety and especially taking no chances when it comes to head injuries.
Yes, I believe that this is going to be his last appearance on this particular match until he is further assessed and cleared to play for probably the next tournament or maybe not. We never know. We have to wait for the match for the medical officer to tell us what will happen next.
Indeed, and you spoke about medical officers. We can see the man there, the tournament doctor, Dr. James Ondiege. He has been very strict in terms of ensuring that not only are COVID protocols adhered to in and out of the stadium, but also that player welfare, player safety is also given a priority. And to the Senegalese player, that was Mamadou Kebe. We obviously do wish him a speedy recovery. And we do expect him to be fine. Play continues here. Senegal making yet another substitution. Idrissa Dabo is on for Kebe. Senegalese finding themselves in possession. And then they are found guilty of the handling error and then swinging the advantage back to Kenya.
And you can remember I mentioned earlier, Kwambo, it seems like Kenya are really good at pushing Senegal back and back into their own territory because as we saw, we started from Kenya's half and in a few minutes we are now into Senegal's territory, very close to the try line. Let's see what happens next.
Indeed.
22.
Another replacement for Senegal. Jeune Mane coming on. No relation to Sadio Mane, by the way. We did confirm that.
I initially thought they are related.
No relation whatsoever, but Jeune Mane making his way onto the field of play. Senegal And Mane replaces Benoit Sare. Meanwhile, 2 replacements for Kenya. Nicholas Okulo and Laban Kipkoech coming on. As Kati Solago looks to empty the bench. Going off the field of play, Will Height Musisi has carried a lot of ball for Chipu, as the Kenyan under-20s are known. And making his way off the field, or play alongside Will Height Musisi, is the try scorer Ibrahim Ayodi. And as we speak, Kenya scoring another try, this time from Reinhard Ayodi. It was actually John Baraka, the captain. It's only fair that he gets his name on the scorer's sheet. It takes a lot to bring him down. And what a talent he is proving to be, John Baraka.
That is what we call the definition of leading from the front.
Exactly, a forward. He has carried that ball forward. He has driven his team forward. And it is Onzere taking over the kicking duties from Andrew Matoka. "13 minutes to play, 42 points to 3 here at the Nyayo National Stadium. And that attempt by Onzere sails wide, scores remain 42-3. I was going to say something about the way Onzere has folded his shots, but I'd rather not. We're talking about rugby and not fashion sense.
Yes.
But that's our primary business over the next few days of the tournament. I have to give it to Senegal. They have given as good as they've got. Struggling a bit as we head into the final 12 minutes of the match. The restart from Senegal, not going the requisite 10 meters. There's a free kick for Kenya. They elect to go for the scrum down. They are bullying the Senegalese in the forwards and particularly in the scrum downs. Another replacement for Senegal coming on is Sajin Ndoye. And he will replace the fullback Ibrahima Diouf, who was spending the last moments of the game in the sin bin. So Ibrahima Diouf will play no further role in this match. He has been replaced by Serine Ndoye. Kenya surging forward again, 12 minutes to play. That's another big kick fielded by Senegal, and quickly responding to it, just playing it into the hands of the Kenyan players. But Precious Pazani awards Kenya a penalty. "11 minutes to play here at the Nyayo National Stadium. And the Kenyans drilled that one over, taking the scores to 45-3, just looking to maximize any scoring opportunities, Joyce.
Yes, indeed. Kenya are really widening the gap. Currently, the scores are at 45 and Senegal 3, and we only have 10 minutes left of the game.
Scores to the Kenya under 20 side, 45, Senegal 3.
As you head into the final 10 minutes, the restart from Senegal is deep. The man who just drilled home that penalty, Andrew Matoka, turning the favor to Senegal, and that is Bara Sisse. A bit of confusion there between Onzere and his teammate, but eventually it is cleaned up. The bounce of the rugby ball can always be confusing. But that is some brilliant footwork from Senegal. It's beginning to show us what they can do when they find themselves in a good spell of possession. Just working themselves out of their half and forcing a penalty from the Kenyans. But at the end of the day, it is great to see the future of rugby in Africa converge for the BARTHES trophy. We do hope to see these young men feature in senior competition in the years to come. Remember, they all start from here. And must give credit to Rugby Africa for ensuring that this tournament happens year in, year out. That kick from Senegal goes long.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember the Kenya Rugby Union replica jerseys on sale for just 5,000 bob. You can get yourself a replica jersey courtesy of the Kenya Rugby Union. All you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, visit the point of sale just opposite the VVIP stand. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, if you can get yourself the Kenya Rugby Union replica jersey.
Let's just go through some of the highlights of the match thus far. That was that last moment. And there was a bit of confusion between the Kenyan receivers there. Play has been stopped for Senegal to allow one of their players receive a medical check. He is up on his feet. It is the fly half, Asane Ndiaye. We're heading into the last 8 minutes of the fixture. It is 45-3 in favor of Kenya. As the breeze continues to become a lot more chillier here at the Nyayo National Stadium. I forgot my jacket. I cannot access it until after the game.
I remember when we started the game, I was praising the sun, but clearly the sun has decided to disappear on us. So we're just freezing here as we wait on the last 8 minutes of the game.
Cornelius Mokoro with the scrum feed for Kenya. Plays it to Onzere. The halfback pairing have played through this game. And that is Mulievi, one of the second half replacements coming on. Kenya just driving the ball forward, losing the ball on the tackle. Penalty advantage to Senegal. This is looking good from Senegal, but strong defense coming from Kenya. Another face of play through Mame Mbaye. So Senegal electing to go for territory. Right now just going through the paces with 7 minutes to play. We'll be looking to get some more points on the board, at least to reduce the margin, because at 45 points to 3 with 6 or so minutes to play, it is Kenya breezing through this fixture.
So far, Senegal have been really good on their lineouts. They've gotten, I think, 70% of their lineouts. It's just that after the lineout, they lose the ball.
And as you speak, they once again claim that ball from the lineout. Some lovely set pieces from the Senegalese players. But once again, the final delivery just letting them down. Obviously, they are going to be punished there. That was Andrew Matoka. The bounce was just unkind for him. Another scrum feed for Senegal, but look at that drive from the Kenyans. That was John Baraka playing it through to Mokoro. Good continuity from Kenya. But referee Precious Pazani punishes the Kenyan. There was a hint of the ball traveling forward, and that was Shem Okola. Oh, some good continuity there. Nzere played it through to Okola. 5 minutes to play here at the Nyayo National Stadium, the opening fixture of the Under-20 BARTHES Trophy in 2021. It is Kenya leading Senegal by 45 points to 3. The match being played behind closed doors in line with the Kenyan government's regulations on the management of COVID-19, the pandemic which has slowed down sport and the world over the past 2 years. But it's great to see the resilience of these young men and women of the organizing committee in ensuring that sport returns. And that is Ray Mulievi with the step, carries the ball forward, presents it to his scrum half, and that was Tyson Juma, one of the second half replacements, just driving forward for Kenya. They are looking to get more points on the board as we come to the closing phase of the match. They lose the ball on the tackle. That was Edwin Nachio falling rather awkwardly. A lot of tired bodies from both sides. Not in our picture, Kenyan player receiving medical attention. And also not in our picture, one or two Senegalese players squatting, just looking to get their way back onto their feet. It's hard to believe that we once played this game. Once again, the referee just having a word with the Senegalese captain, Ahmed Sall.
He can't continue.
There's been a hint of indiscipline from the Senegalese forwards. It was actually with the hooker, Mame Mbaye.
Upper level. Guys, yes, you're taking the hit, but you need to control it, okay? You can't chase, okay? Yes, I told them to take the hit, yes.
Remember, the center referee for the tournament today is Precious Pazani from Zimbabwe. She's assisted by Sauda Adiru from Uganda and Victor Ojuku from Kenya. And the fourth match official is Beryl Akinyi, also from Kenya. And it's also notable to point that over the past 1 week, the Kenya Rugby Union has held the we call it the Rugby Super Week, whereby a few individuals come to be trained on level 1 and level 2 of different aspects of the game of rugby.
And definitely that has been a great build-up to the BARTHES Trophy. A lot of education for rugby stakeholders in the run-up to the tournament. We also, I believe, had attendance for this tournament, for the training from other countries outside of Kenya. Joyce, you attended it, and maybe you can share the nationality of some of those attendants.
So I attended the level 1 SNC training yesterday, and we had the honor of being trained by the one and only... Oh, wow.
Denver One is
Denver
from South
One.
Africa. Rugby Africa personnel.
My mind froze for a minute.
Yeah, and as we speak, there is yet another player making his way off the field of play. It looks like a Kenyan player. We will confirm his identity in a minute. But two Kenyan players have limped off in the opening game. The first one was Reginald Ngaira.
And we can see the Kenyan forwards are really dominating on the scrums in this second half. The current scores at 45 to Kenya and 3 to Senegal, with only 3 minutes remaining of the play.
And what an end it would be. That was a desperate attempt there from the Kenyans to get possession of that ball, but they still find themselves in the ascendancy. And remember, Joyce, after this, we still have the Rugby Africa Women's Competition, Kenya versus Madagascar, on the 7th of July.
Yes,
there's also Madagascar coming to Nairobi, the under-20s. They land in Nairobi on the 30th.
Yes, we do have the Kenya versus Madagascar ladies tournament on the 27th of July, and we will have our the Chipu team playing against Madagascar on the 3rd of July.
Well, we will confirm those dates. Remember, with the dynamics around the tournament, especially in terms of confirming availability of teams in relation to COVID-19, there was a few things that needed to change. But there is still a lot of rugby action, and we will enjoy that rugby action on K24. That's some hard running once again from the Kenyans. Solid tackling too from the Senegalese. Both teams just going through the motions as we are heading into the final 22 seconds of the match. Senegal driving forward. 3 points for them. That's some brilliant play from Senegal. Playing a lot more of that hard running rugby that we know the Senegalese can bring to the park there. Joyce, we just saw that there, big running from the Senegalese. They've gained crucial yards, but the final ball presentation costing them, and they lose the advantage that they're gaining.
And we can see the frustration from the Senegalese player as per the referee's call on that last lost ball.
And that's another big kick from the Kenyans, from Andrew Matoka. Well, at this point of the game, we just feel that Kenya going through the motions. They will be happy with the 45 points they've gotten, but if they can add one more, then well and good, because they've actually completed the job here. But credit to Senegal, they came out to play. The scores at halftime 13-0, but the second half just too much of a mountain for them to climb. Particularly punished when they lost Ibrahima Diouf to the yellow card, playing with 14 men, conceding tries in succession there. But there have been aspects of the Senegalese game that have been impressive, particularly, as you mentioned, the line-out, the individual play as well, and when they find themselves in contact. But really, at the end of the day, they have been on the wrong end of the scoreline. It is 45 points to 3 in favor of Kenya. This is the opening match of the 2021 BARTHES Trophy. It is organized by Rugby Africa. It is a competition for under 20 national teams. Taking part this year is Kenya, Madagascar, and Senegal. Namibia withdrew from the tournament.
Advantage.
Still, rugby is happening.
Scrum on the 5. My mark. Sorry. Number 17. Mark, yeah? Time off. Keep your head in. I'm 1 minute. Stand back on. Crouch! Back! Set!
And ladies and gentlemen, that's the hooter going, and Kenya have scored a last-minute try. That's a try from Tyson Juma of Menengai Oilers, notable mention there. The current scores are 53 and the time has just ended.
Kenya. It is Tyson Juma that gets the last try for Kenya as the 2.5-century mark with a kick.
Just a replay of the last try that we have just witnessed, conversion to come. Conversion sails wide. The full-time scores are Kenya 50, Senegal 53. The referee, Precious Pazani, calls the game to an end. Just a few mentions. We'd like to congratulate Madagascar for making it to the BARTHES Under-20 tournament here at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi. Full-time scores on your screen.
For making this a wonderful, wonderful spectacle this afternoon. Commiserations for their loss and congratulations to the Kenya Under-20 side as they proceed to match day 2.
As we come to the end of the game today, we would like to congratulate everyone for who made it. We would like to congratulate everyone who made time to come and participate in the BARTHES Under-20 Rugby Africa tournament.
APO Group, Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage, Sports Fund, Nairobi County, Coca-Cola, Kenya Rugby, Media Max, and World Flair. Do remember, you still can get your Kenya Rugby replica jerseys for 5,000 shillings opposite the VIP area, right here on the main
dais. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. For those that came out to support, we will see you on match day 2.
Also seen very beautiful and strong scrums from Kenya, and notable mentions are the two kickers from Kenya, Andrew Matoka and Arnold Onzere, who have really carried the game on their shoulders by making sure that we have gotten almost 70% of the kicks today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to K24 for the BARTHES Under-20 Rugby.
match et demande qu'est-ce que tu as pensé pour le match.
Bon, on a tout fait pour jouer, pour préparer le match. Mais on a perdu. On va essayer de préparer notre deuxième match pour avoir la victoire. Aujourd'hui, on a tout fait, on a tout donné. Mais malheureusement, on a perdu. On doit préparer pour la prochaine match, Inch'Allah.
The game against Kenya, how was it for you?
Ce match contre le Kenya, c'était comment? Tu as senti ça comment? C'était comment?
Bon, le match, franchement, ça s'est bien passé. Je me suis senti bien dedans. On a bien joué. Mais ce qui est fait, déjà fait, c'est la défaite. On va accepter et apprendre aussi, quoi.
Madagascar next. What can we expect from Senegal?
Le match contre le Madagascar, qu'est-ce que tu as pensé contre ce match?
Non, le match, c'est préparer comment gagner Madagascar. Puisqu'il ne nous reste que lui seul, on prépare pour lui gagner psychologiquement, techniquement.
All right, thank you very much and all the best in your next game.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
So Kenya captain John Baraka, congratulations on the victory against Senegal. How was the game for you?
The game was good. We started off a bit slow in the first half, but after the second half, the team picked up. We became more precise in our execution of plays and set pieces, and that helped us a lot to win the game.
What do you feel worked and what did not work for you, even as you registered the win?
As I said, maybe in the first half the players were not much focused. They still didn't have their head in the game, but after the second half, everything began to work. The set piece plays, because we shifted our focus and maintained it on one goal, which was winning the game.
Next game against Madagascar, what can we expect?
Nothing more, nothing less. We are well prepared, as you have seen in the game with Senegal, and we are ready for them. That's all I can say.
John Baraka, thank you very much and see you in your next game.
Thank you very much.
Senegal coach, first game against Kenya, it has ended 45-3. Your take on the game?
Le premier match vient de finir là. Et le défi 43 à 3, qu'est-ce que tu en pensais?
Oui, on avait du mal à rentrer dans ce match. Donc on a été pénalisé, on a commis beaucoup de fautes, surtout sur la touche, sur les mêlées, ils sont forts devant. Donc on a dû résister pendant presque une mi-temps. Mais malheureusement, en deuxième mi-temps, ils sont venus encore en plus de force. C'est ce qui a fait la différence.
All right, thank you very much and we wish you all the best in your next game.
Merci beaucoup et bonne chance pour le prochain match.
Merci aussi. On va espérer rectifier les erreurs qu'on a mises aujourd'hui. On va travailler pour essayer de gagner Madagascar, Inch'Allah. Kenya head coach Kati Solago, your side has started the BARTHES trophy defense with a 45-3 win over Senegal. First half a bit too slow, second half of course more points on the board. What did you tell the boys at halftime?
Yeah, at least we were not just making the right decisions, and we were being too physical with people who are bigger than us. So we just decided to use the spaces more rather than going physical. But it was slow at first. I mean, the boys also have jitters. They've never seen such games before. I mean, and they pulled through well.
What worked? What didn't work for you?
No, we just started identifying spaces and making yards. You know, it was all about gain line dominance, and playing in the right areas.
Madagascar next, what can you expect?
We'll go down and cut these videos and see the mistakes that we made, and then try and correct them. Try and work on our passing skills more. I felt we need to pass the balls a bit more sharper, so that we can get over the gain line quick. But we are going to see. We're going to sit down with the technical team and make a plan for next week.
All right, thank you very much, and all the best in your remaining fixture.
Cheers, man. Cool.